All right, guys, we had a red card situation going down. You know what that means. Anyway, we're still winning. We're still winning. That's what it is. All right, we're live. It's time for the Q&A. If you have a Q, let's get it Aid. Yo, what is going on with the old Zoom Zoom? Let me see. Give me a second. Doo, 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 doo. Why would you put yourself over there? Why are you over there? All right, cool. Now we're moving it. All right, we're good to go. The doorbells are ringing. We're in the building. All right, it's Q&A time. If you got a question, throw it out there. I will do my best to stop looking at this Manchester game. I hate when we have a 6:30 kickoff because that means it always coincides with the stream and makes me crazy. But we're winning 3-0 for a second. Now it's 3-1, so we're still good. We're still good. We're still good. What is up, Kevy? What is up, Paul? Paul is riding dirty right now. Not up in here. All right, let's go. Let's go. Oh my God, what a crazy week. There's so many things popping off. It's kind of incredible. It's kind of incredible. Um, Getting ready to close out this 365. Like, it's kind of crazy, bro. We got 5 days left after today. After today, there's 5 days left. That's kind of impressive. I mean, like, if I'm going to take a moment to think about it, 365 days of straight gangster ish, just dropping it out there. Kind of crazy. What is up, Junkie Camera? What is cracking? Um, yeah, like it's hard to put in words the idea, right? And I swear I'm gonna say this. It's gonna sound crazy to somebody, and most of you guys are family, so you kind of know. I'm forever talking about you got to be careful of what you say to yourself, and I don't think that lands as hard as it should for people. I think Aubrey's trying to figure out why she can't hear me, but that's because I was muted in Zoom. I see the look on your face. Aubrey's like, wait, I can't hear you. My bad. My bad. In Zoom, I just reinstalled my machine, so I never set the setting that says automatically, get gangster when it comes out. So let me hold on. Let me stop this. My bad, Obs. Obs is gonna kill me. She gonna be like, boom. Yo, Kevin, how did it? It just changed it by itself. Like you didn't do anything. It just decided that you was gonna be 27, 24, Kevin Cox. But strangely enough, it didn't affect your It didn't affect your what's the word I'm looking for? Your moderation status or whatever. So it's really strange that happened like that. That's crazy. I'm curious. All right, I'm just trying to adjust something because Backblaze is turning itself on by itself, and we don't want that. So I need to change that. I was talking to Brandon and them yesterday, and they couldn't wrap their heads around the fact that Backblaze is unlimited for a single fee. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have to make a little video about that and explain it to them because like I've been on Backblaze since it came out. It's been many, 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 many years. If I want to call it, it's probably like 2012 to now, maybe 11. Um, I just remember that the two people that started it, they used to work at Apple. We left about the same time. They came up with Backblaze. I didn't. But their famous claim to fame has always been they were trying to keep the price low. And so there was a point in time where there was a hurricane in I want to say Indonesia or something like that, and it caused like drives to just be out of stock everywhere in the planet. And what they did, rather than raise the price of Backblaze, they had the users, I was one of them, go to Costco and buy as many Western Digital, like, was it like 4 or 5 terabyte drives as you possibly could and send it to them. And they would cover the shipping, reimburse you for the price of the drives, and hook you up with a couple years of free Backblaze. And when that happened, the team had gotten banned from every Costco in the Bay Area because they were going in and buying pallets of hard drives. And then, the Costco people were like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And of course, there's one donkey that complained that, they were buying up all the drives, and they ended up getting banned from all the Costco's in the Bay Area. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Um, Rich and Kevin are talking. He says, "That's always my Google identifier, but it shows back up on Google, but on YouTube it says just my name." He says, "I think they're doing the security because you can't spoof anyone. That makes a false Kevin Cox profile. Nobody can fake a YT handle." And then Luis says that no, it happened. Is YouTube is now using ad names instead of handles. If you never went and secured your ad name, it gave you a generic one. And now that they switched that, you're seeing the effect. You should still be able to go in and set the presentation name, though. Let me see if I can find her. It's in settings. Boom. And then channel, advanced settings, feature eligibility, upload defaults, permission, moderation, demographics, agreement. No, where the heck is it at? I know it's in here. I remember. Oh, you know what? You have to do it from the page settings. Discard the changes. Yes, don't touch that. Do not touch that. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Go into your channel. And then go into settings at the bottom. And then channel status and features. General. Nope, that's the same. Feature eligibility. That part is the same. Bro, I know it's in here somewhere. I forgot where you do it. Add or manage channels. No, it's not in there. User ID. The reason why I'm not showing this is because there are the secret squirrel user ID stuff which people can see and then mess with your channel. So when I find it, I will show you. Don't worry. Bro, I forgot where the heck you said it now. It's been so long. Holy crap. I said mine like eons ago. Nope. That's the same. Okay. Nope, nope, nope. Yo, this is bugging me out, bro. I think you have to go to your Google, at the bottom where it says, hold on, go to account, go to Google account. And again, I'm looking in here. Something you're looking for. Personal info. Yup. Profiles. Yup. What other people see. Yup. Dude, I can't find that joint. I forgot where the heck you do it at. Let me check the chat. I might be high. People call you enough names already. Uh, They need to add click and hold the chat user. Yo, 100%. Yo, that's so crazy that you cannot at mention people on the iPad. I think it's super super stupid. All right, you know what we doing wrong here? Here's what we doing wrong here. They added the new like feature in YouTube where you can just ask it a question. So let's see if we can do that. Uh, let's go to studio. Again, I am purposely not showing you because you can see some ad stuff here. I'm gonna hit on the little AI studio button. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, now the AI studio button is missing. I just used that sucker 3 days in a row. Why you gotta be like that? Okay, here we go. Here we go. How to change my channel at name. Sign into YouTube Studio, go to customization and then profile. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. There we go. There we go. Yes. Bingo, bango, pickle, mango. I had to ask the AI. You're going to come down on the side here. You're going to press customization, Kevin, and give it a try. And then go down here to the handle. And yes, you can change it. I'm not going to change mine. I'm not even going to bother to accidentally pretend to change mine because I definitely don't want to bork it. But yes, just try and see if you can go in here and then do the handle and change it right there. That was way crazier than I thought. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, let's do something insane. Let's do something absolutely insane. Let's go switch, and then let's take this one, which I don't really mess with, and let's go to customization, and then let's change this number. Let me think. I'm trying to think what I want to do. Let's see. Yep, it took. All right, and then I'm gonna save it. Uh, yeah, I can change it again. Doesn't matter. And if I go to the channel, boom, there it is. So it does work. All right, that's all I wanted to see. Don't ask me why. You can change it. Ah. All right. Yep. Then you're good. Yeah, it should be live. It says real Kevin Cox. Yay. Oh, so your other Kevin Cox got jacked by somebody else? Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, now we know. Now we know. All right. So if you see the fake Kevin Cox out in these streets, just go ahead and give him a crack in the nose. Just tell him, why you over here messing with my mans in them? Boom. Oh, AT mad today. She looked like she on a box. Yo, Gretchen got anointed into the Creator Fam Lab this week, which I thought was pretty cool. Anyway, I was gonna finish my damn sentence. I got mad sidetracked. So when I first started this thing, let's be real. There's every opportunity. Hey, Rich Graham. There was every opportunity to be like, yo, that first 30 days is going to be a bitch, but I'm going to do it anyway just to show you guys that it can be done. And as cliche as it sounds, I was like, let me do this 30 days to show you guys this ain't shit. And it went about nothing, right? It was actually a pretty hilarious theme, right? Like, it's a common question. If you go to a conference and you're sitting in a room somewhere and someone's talking to a creator who's been doing anything for more than a couple of years, one of the questions that always comes up, if you had to start all over, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? And so that's how I came up with Nice to Know, Nice to Have November. Paul, I had that same color shirt on before the game started, and then I switched because I needed us to win. We would have been up in here looking like freaking twins, like dry Pepto Bismol looking twins. uh, and you know, like I swear, I hear it still. And I'm sure I do it in other scenarios. But if you start out with this is about to be hard, it will absolutely be hard. If you start out with that naivete of a child, kids will be like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to figure it out. That's funny, Gretchen. Gretchen said, Jarrell asked me what cannon gear I had, and I ran out of space in the comments a couple of times. That's why Brandon was like, oh, she got all of it. She got every single part of it. I thought that was pretty funny. Also thought it was funny that Brandon T, other Brandon, they told him that they couldn't peel the sensor. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, it's one of those weird things, and it's crazy, but something as subtle as telling yourself something's going to be hard will mess you up. And it's not even to do with content creator. Let's just look in general things. I know people to this day that will go to the doctor. Like, I had to get my flu shot like a couple of weeks ago, and I did a flu shot and COVID shot at the same time, because there's no way that I was going to go spend a week with Paul in the same vicinity without taking the COVID shot, because he old and he could have gave me the cooties. And then Gretchen, she drove all the way across country, and she went through the middle of America where she would have caught something. And Brandon is from Texas. So, hey, you know what that is. I'm like, yo, I'm going to go get me a COVID shot and a flu shot. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was about, oh no, I actually did it. I did it like the 2 days before I left, which was stupid, because that could have been bad, right? Because you can get a little bit sick. Luckily, I didn't get sick at all this time. And when I went to go do it, like, they only had the new one out, and I was like, nah, man, I'm taking Pfizer. I know that joint works. I know exactly what the side effects are, which is nothing for me. And I'm like, nope, I'm not. So I had to drive all the way across the island to go to a whole different, CVS. We call it Longs here, but just to get I wanted the same Pfizer. Anyway, the fun part was, though, as I'm there, I see people who are just in that anxiety because of a needle. Now, that is something that you're taught from the time you're a kid. You're not born scared of needles because you don't know what the frick one is. And your first 3 or 4 sets of shots, you don't cry before they shoot you. You cry after because it hurts a little bit. Some babies don't even cry, because I used to do it. I used to be at, Tripler Hospital here, like, inject a kid, and kid look at me like, the frick did you do? And then you go, boom, lollipop, and they're like, ha, like, they don't even trip. So most of the people who have that terrifying fear of needles, somebody else told you that needles are scary or it's going to hurt, or you were taunted with it. Like when there's the parents or the brothers and sisters who say dumb stuff like, oh, they're going to come in with a big needle and then they're going to stab you and then blah, 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 right? There's something else that gave you that thing. Or, like me, my first weird interaction with needles was playing around with my grandma's tomato. That sounded weird, but old people know what it is. Grandma had a tomato that you wear on the wrist, and it had all the pins and needles in it because she be trying to sew clothes. We was broke, so grandma used to make outfits. And so I was wearing a little tomato thinking I was funny, and I was running around and I fell, and a bunch of them stuck me in the shoulder. Like I stood up and they was just in there. And I was like, ah, because there was like 8 little joints stuck in me like in Bugs Bunny. And they pulled them joints out like one at a time and then hit you. Anybody got hit with the brown Vaseline? You guys remember the brown Vaseline? What is it called? Carbonated Vaseline or something? I just get hit with the Vaseline, then you get a beating for playing with the tomato. And had they been like, oh my God, this is dangerous, you're going to die or whatever, like, yeah, I could have been one of those people that grew up afraid of needles. So similarly, if you tell yourself stuff, you're going to believe yourself. And to those of us hood rats that grew up where your broccoli or your Brussels sprouts used to come in a box like this, and they just throink it into a pot with some water and boil it, and it got no damn flavor, and it's nasty, and it's soggy, and Alicia laughing because she was broke too. Like any broke kids, like about the frozen brick vegetables. So for the longest time, I confessed with full throat, like, I don't eat Brussels sprouts, they nasty. I don't eat Brussels sprouts, they nasty. But that's because our initial behavior to it was jacked up. And then one day we out at a highfalutin type joint, and I'm with some people that I can't make a fool out of myself in front of. They ordered the Brussels sprouts, and they're like, yeah, these are phenomenal. And you get the roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon, and then a little chili oil, the whole 9 yards. Got the red chili peppers that they chop up, they put in there. And then you eat a Brussels sprout that's been made by somebody that's not your mama boiling the frozen brick. And you be like, damn, these little baby cabbages is fire, And as a kid who don't eat broccoli, ask me how long it took me to eat cauliflower. Cauliflower to me was white folks' broccoli. I wasn't finna eat that. I was like, who the hell wants an albino broccoli? And then you have a good one, like made by somebody that know what they're doing. It could totally change your thing. So I'm going to ask you to start questioning some of the crazy stuff you tell yourself based off a memory that's, say, more than 10 years old. Honestly, ask yourself some of the things you say to yourself that's based off a memory more than 2 weeks old. And if you're Gretchen and Paul, you'll remember what the hell happened 2 weeks ago. So I don't even know why I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning. Oh, yeah, because Emma needed to come and use the printer because she has debate today. She was dressed in her little debate outfit. She looked cute. She about ready to go kick some butt. But I'm like, man, why I got to go to the office at like 5:30 in the morning? Why don't you buy a printer? Anyway, it's one of those things, like really, like you can completely psych yourself out, right? All right? You know what I'm saying? And Rich is correct, right? That ain't no Brussels sprout, right? Off the chain. Hey, see, Chris said 2 minutes ago. There you go. I'm with you, bro. I don't remember what the hell happened a little bit ago. Unless it's a big tetanus shot, then you should cry. Then wait, what do you mean? Unless it's that big tetanus shot, you shouldn't cry. Maybe is what she was trying to say. Yeah. No, they not nasty, Kev. See, you got to try it again. So I've been on the thing recently. When we travel, especially, all the things that I swore that I didn't eat, I've been trying again. And recently, when we were in, where did we just come from? Seattle, I had Chinese broccoli. It's different. It tastes different. That one doesn't taste like the ghetto afros. Them joints is good. It's different. I'm telling you, AT is different. Don't shake your head, no, mommy. It's different. All right. Wait, you live in Florida. Next time you go to a Chinese restaurant, order some Chinese broccoli, and it don't taste the same, and you'll be like, okay, you're correct. it's skinny and long, and it just has little things. It doesn't have as much. It doesn't have as much. Stop shaking your head. You're making me feel guilty now. You're not making me feel anything. You can't make me feel anything. I hate when people say stuff like that. Like, oh, you make me feel stupid. I was like, nah, dog, you stupid. Nobody can make you feel stupid. Gretchen is laughing. Hold on, I got to look this up because AT is giving me stink eye. Have you had Chinese broccoli before? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. It's not the same. It's different. Um, it's what is their actual name? I want to say it's like choisum. Maybe it is. It's choisum. That's what it's called. I should know that. I live in Hawaii. There you go. See, it looks completely different. It's not the same. And this tastes good. Like when you get the one from Din Tai Fung, bruh, with the little garlics in them. Come on, son. Them joints is off the chain. But yeah, I've been forcing myself to try things that I said I didn't like before because 9 times out of 10, you might have just had it in like a nasty preparation or somebody that didn't know what they was doing. You know what I mean? And I've learned that I have changed my tune on more than enough things. Like I used to drink tea with like mad sugar in it. And I started in Japan drinking tea with no sugar in it because a lot of places that's what they serve you instead of water. And then now I don't like sugar in my tea. Sweet tea from down south, I tried it again when I went to Atlanta like a year and a half ago, and it was like, bleh! Oh my God, it was like licking a box of Dominoes. Is that called, what's the yellow sugar called? Is that Dominoes? The yellow sugar with the line, the cricket line? Okay, it tastes like licking a box of Dominoes, not pizza. When I was in elementary school, they would line us up in the hall and take us one at a time to the health room to get shots. It was the kid before you screaming that. That kind of makes sense too. If you was lying behind a little bitch, then you probably end up getting scared too. That's funny. That's funny. Yo, Chris Stone is in the building. Said before your surgery, you can eat broccoli. Now it won't go down. That makes sense because sometimes it's too hyper. Yo, the cucumber salad with yo, I introduced Mary Lou and Jill to that and the string beans. And then Dina, we went this time to Seattle. Dina came and we got the string beans and Dina and Ed Carr, they was both like, what in the and I'm like, yeah, dog, them string beans at Din Tai Fung is the money shot, bro. It's so good. I can't do it, K Walk. It's like an instant pain. It's so nasty. Anyway, so I'm just thinking like there's a bunch of challenging things that we're going to hit as we go through this. We're all learning something new. We're all trying something new. And I'm like, when you catch yourself talking from a position of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, when you actually have no experience whatsoever, I'm going to ask you to try to change that in your brain. I'm with Paul. Sweet tea is nasty. Like, it's too much, bro. It's too much. But see, Paul, you went to Japan a couple times too. So once you taste, I think what it is if we have Lipton, Lipton can mess you up. Because why am I talking to myself? What the hell? I'm pressing. Listen, I ain't talking to myself. Let me see. This old person, boom. This old person, this old person, and this old person. Stop. I know what you're thinking, Paul. Don't even say it. I know you're thinking something heinous. All right, let's see. One old people. I kind of wish that we had a like you could click on a box and make it go to a prescribed size. So like if you know you got five, you can click on five and it'll size the boxes that will make it good for five. Does that make sense? I'm gonna have to come out with a little overlay that you can put on and then size it accordingly.
You can put feature requests into the beta group.
I fully shut up, Paul. I know this. Matter of fact, I was talking to Glenn yesterday for the longest time. Hey, for some reason, I gave Glenn access, and he couldn't manage the channel, which was weird. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this channel is a brand channel, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I
Should have
don't.
told me. I could have tweaked him.
Yeah. So go back.
I think actually he's
He's
the
in.
owner.
He's in, but he couldn't get in. Like he's set as a channel manager, but he couldn't get in. Try to see what you can see so we can tell Glenn, because Glenn's trying to fix something for us, people, and that'll be cool. Anyway, we're not supposed to be at work today. It's Saturday. Um, the I think the second biggest thing that sort of came from this is I. This is gonna be hard to explain. So anybody has a better way of explaining it, jump in. I never got to the point where I told myself this was going to be hard or this is going to be a pain in the butt. I didn't game plan. That's funny, Paul. You're such a dick. Why am I friends with this guy? Why am I friends with this guy? If I ask my own self a question, it don't count. You can't ban me. It's my channel. um, yeah. Okay. So how do I explain this? Like, I know I really did try, and I still suck at it, but I really struggle with the whole batching concept. And my process would have been a heck of a lot better if I got to that. But I also found it a little bit fun to be at an event, and we out here doing crazy stuff and sliding into the room at like 11 and being like, no, bitch, you can't go to bed. You need to post a video. I actually found that a little bit fun, I guess. But us ADHD people like to work under the stress of a time crunch, because if we have too much time, we got everything else to do except that. Wait a minute, Gretchen, are you wearing a shirt that says polycamerous? That's funny as shit. That's absolutely hilarious.
From Luis. It's on Luis's fourth wall. He
Oh my
had to
God.
make from.
That's funny.
Yeah, isn't it great?
That's absolutely funny. So in a
It's
way,
my favorite.
I do. I love that shirt. That probably freaks people out when they
actually,
don't read
Doc,
all the way good. Yes, Paul.
Ken's not a manager.
Glenn.
Glenn is the owner, but
Yeah,
Ken
Glenn.
is not.
Not
Oh
Ken,
yeah, Glenn
Glenn.
should be able to do anything.
You're missing the wrong twins. I did it the
I
other
thought
day.
you said Ken.
I actually called the wrong one, which I never do, because I've been able to tell them apart since day one. I mean, it's kind of easy, but I felt like real dumb. We was at camp. I was like, oops. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, to me, I learned a lot, and I blame Paul C for a lot of it. Because when we got to the end of the first 30, and then Paul was like, keep going. And then AT was like, yeah. And then the other Paul was like, uh-huh. And I was like, wait a minute, y'all. Why I gotta keep going? But then I got cocky and was like, you know what? I'll just go the whole year then. And then, actually, that was the third one. By the time we got to January, Paul was like the first one to say, well, you might as well just go ahead and do the whole 365. I was on like 60. I was on 60. And Paul was like, you might as well do like 365. And I was like, whatever, man. Like, ain't no thing but a chicken wing. But I tell you, it's no special craft or anything. I think the biggest thing that made the difference between completing the task and not completing the task was never telling myself it was hard, never telling myself this is a pain in the butt, never telling myself this is some kind of drama. I cherubically went into it the whole way like a little kid of playing a game. And the game was to get to the finish line. And now that literally we're 5 days plus one, because I forgot it's 31 days in October. Now that we're 5 days plus one out, am I going to be glad that it's over? Nah. The funny part is something that we've said a long time ago from like Vlogmas 1. If you are the type of person that puts way too much time between your content creation and you do a 7-day challenge and you complete a 7-day challenge, the dumbest thing you could do is not make the 8th video. And I want that to sink in tight, because there's people who tell us that they struggle with their content, and yet they'll do a challenge in the Ecamm fam and they'll rock that challenge. Paul has been a Adrian person for about 3-4 years now. And there's people that go through his class and do all of the homework like good little brown nosers, and do all of the what do you call it, Facebook group assignments, and show up to Val and Paul's little it's not office hours, I forgot what you guys call it, but you know, like you got to come to the Zoom and you got to do your thing. And they complete that. And they take their little certificate and they put it in the corner, and you might not see them for 3-4 months because they're like, whoo, got through it. Like, the best time to run a mile is after you finish the 26. But starting from 0 to run a mile, yo, that's hard. But if you ran 26 and you got to run a mile back to your car so you can go home, ain't no thing but a chicken wing. You're already there. Hey, are you still doing the walking thing, AT?
Pushed it back to next year.
Okay. Do you doing it just for fun now, or you just ain't walking at all? I mean, not for fun. You know
No,
what I mean? Just like as regular exercise.
well, no. What it was is, a few years ago, I decided that I have to do something to challenge myself every year, to put me outside of my comfort zone. So usually it's something physical, because then I have to get over the mental in order to do the physical.
I like it. I like it. Maybe that's something that we should do for 26. Everybody come up with a challenge. And I do like the idea of making it a physical challenge, because those are the hardest at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, if you could, just put yourself to walking them 5,000 a day. Like, I mean, you was trying to get to 100,000, so I mean, you got to do more than 5,000 a day, but not really. I mean, if you walked 1,000 a day and you did it 100 days, that's 100,000. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that. That's why I forgot how far into it I was, but it was probably January, because we was on a trip and I was in the lounge, and it dawned on me the best way to tackle one of these challenges is in 3-day spurts. So when someone says you do a 30-day challenge and you panic, then do a 3-day challenge and repeat it 10 times. That was Val, Vlogmas 1, dude. Val was talking mad shit. Val was like, I ain't doing it, Doc. I'm going to do 7 and blah, blah, blah. Yo, she called me from outside the parking lot of the Walmart in the snow. Or, sorry, she tagged me in the video. She in the Walmart parking lot in the snow at Christmas time. I'm making the damn video because Doc's an asshole. Blah, 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 blah. And that time, dude, she was on like video 10. And so I ain't doing no more after this. Then the next day, there's another video. And then the next day, there's another video. And she kind of did almost the whole 30 in that time. But it started out like, which I think was actually a good idea. I didn't think this at the time. I thought she was just being a punk. But after she did it, I'm like, it's actually brilliant, bro. The fact that she was like, I'm going to do these in 1 week at a time spurts and get in as many as I can. I think she ended up with like 26, 27 out of 30, which was way better than her saying she's going to do 7.
She wasn't even going to do 7.
No, right. She was just going to, I'll just do this 1 week and then I quit. Right?
Yeah, the biggest mistake I ever made was when we did Lita or whatever it was, and we were doing the videos every day, as I took a break. After it was all over with, it was like, okay, I'm going to take a little break here. And that 1 week turned into 2 weeks, which turned into a month, which turned into 6 months, which now has been a few years.
Now let me ask you this question: when you took the break, why did you take the break?
Because I'd been doing videos every day and I thought, okay, I needed a break, kind of regroup.
I'm gonna say
Big
something
mistake.
crazy. I think, because I remember, I think somebody in your group from a position of leadership said, okay, now that you guys did your 30, you can go ahead and relax now. And
I
I
think
don't
you're right.
remember, I don't think it was Elle. I think it was like, what's her name? Kathy, or no, not Kathy. What's her name? Yeah, Ellis. Kath Ellis, or no, it wasn't her. Oh God, I forgot the lady's name at this point. But she was one of the helpers back then.
Mhm.
And I think she was the one that's like, okay, guys, you did it. Well, like, everybody can take a break now. And I remember at that time, I told Diana in the side chat, I was like, yo, not name one of these people should stop. Because once they stop, they're not going to come back again. And I can name the people that was in that challenge that I have not seen make a video since. And I don't
I
think
made
she
videos,
wasn't
but
trying to
not
be
what I.
nefarious. She was telling everybody exactly what they wanted to hear. They wanted permission to stop. And then they took it.
And what I've come to realize over the course of time is when we do these challenges, the real purpose behind the challenge is to get you on a path or whatever you want to call it, of doing things over and over and over again. And it's like when that challenge ends, if it's an everyday challenge, it's okay to change the frequency, but don't stop.
Don't stop.
Go from daily maybe to every couple of days or once a week or something, but do not stop, because you've built that momentum. You've gotten used to a pace of doing something all the time, and quitting is the worst thing you can do. Your brain.
You know what's funny is I feel like because I'm going to do Notion November, and Paul basically said, yeah, you're proving your point, like you don't have to do it every day. It'll probably still come out every day. But like, when Thanksgiving days pops off, I don't have to go make a video. I can decide.
I think you'll find.
What you
I
say?
think you'll find. I think you'll find that you just want to make it. You'll miss it.
There you go. That's 100% my point.
But
I think what's
but
going to happen
not
is
having to commit to the special occasions in the family or venues when you're flying is going to be a relief off your shoulders.
correct. And I think that so
I
like
agree.
if we're sitting there and then dessert time comes around and then we pack in a couple of cheesecakes, I'm gonna look at my cousin Jace and he gonna be like, yo, we gonna finish up this bottle of Japanese whiskey here or this sake? And I'll be like, yeah. And he'll be like, do you gotta make a video? And I'll be like, nah, today we can just get faded. I bet. Then I might get faded. But, if we after dessert or whatever, I'm like, man, I just had a brilliant idea. Let me go make this video real quick. I can make it. Like, it will take off the need to like, finish a streak per se. But at the same token, like I actually like knowing that I'm doing something that's moving forward. And from yesterday's video, which is probably a throwaway, I really don't expect a lot of people to see it. But from yesterday's video, when I got the stat about how much new people are seeing the channel, like it's kind of crazy. Sorry, Paul and Gretchen.
While you're there, I asked you a question earlier, and I'm going to give you a URL to your video doc.
All right.
I haven't got this studio yet,
Yep.
but if it does what I think, it's going to be a unbelievable tool.
Is it starting to be cold over there? That's a nice jumper.
It's cold.
Not starting to be. He's like full ass cold. What about you, Gretchen?
Anything below 20 degrees C, I freeze.
Oh, dude, 20 to what? That's foul language. Don't use them kind of languages on my channel. 20 what? Oh,
70 Fahrenheit. People
Oh
are.
my gosh, you
when
you
it
would
when it
you would
gets
not be doing well up here right now. We just
when it gets
ended
to
a 5-year drought in one day. After 680 days of less than of days in Seattle with rain less than an inch, we broke it yesterday in one day, and it expected to get 5.5 inches by next Friday,
damn.
and 2 feet of snow in the passes.
I know
It's
some
crazy.
ladies that would be happy to get 5.5. Never mind.
but
Right. The question I've got for you, Doc, is in your Ask Studio.
Yeah.
I would like you just to type this exactly because I've been going through your old videos.
Why are you bringing up old shit? Hold on. Let's see.
Why can't I put? Well, that's it. Okay. In your Ask Studio, ask it. Can you find me any comments on that exact wording?
Oh yeah, it can. Well, let me grab your thing.
Yeah, but this is a video that you've had 800 odd comments on, and I want to see how deep it goes.
On the external Samsung T7?
Just copy that exactly. It was sent to you by Ray Ramagear 3629 or whatever. I'm just wondering how good this is because I've heard good and bad so far.
All right.
Gretchen, we're going to be covered up again.
Do you know which video it was in?
Yeah. No, just first thing I want you to do is just put it in. Can you look at all my videos? And
All right. So what if I go from the? Let's try something. What if we go from the comments page? Right.
I think you've got to be in our studio.
It's right
Oh, no,
here.
it's there.
It's everywhere. Well, not. It's missing a couple pages, but it'll get there. All right. So you want to know if we can find. Can you find? Oh, I gotta turn it on. Oh no, it's there. I got you. Shut up, lady. I messed up. Can you find any questions in my videos
I
where
have.
someone is
I-
asking about the external SSD Samsung T7? Is that what you said, Paul?
Yeah, I put it in the chat, the exact wording that the
Okay.
person used just in case.
You know, if I'm
It's
talking
external.
to it and you say something, it's gonna think you're talking to me. I mean, never mind. It's gonna think that you're talking. I mean, I'm saying it. Nope, I can't find any questions specifically in your channel comments. It's possibly those aren't direct questions about the specific products or the semantic search didn't pick it up. But
Well, in the chat on Zoom, I put the exact wording just in case but it looks like you did exactly the correct wording and everything.
dude, I'm old.
And
Trust me, dude, I am
the video,
absolutely old. That's super funny. How's it going?
it's
Dave?
your second most popular video.
Oh, you're talking about that old joint from way back in the day. Yeah, I don't
Links in Zoom.
I don't know if it knows how to pull that. Hey, did I open it? Nope. Tech Sniper, why didn't you automatically open? Ooh. What are you doing? Oh, I see. Hold on.
You didn't pay the power bill.
No. Tech Sniper, I had, since I put the machine back together, I hadn't set the settings yet. So when I went to go hit it, it popped up a window and it tried to jump from the browser. Stupid. That's huge. Go back to Chrome. There we go. All right. So let's do it this way. Go to the exact video. No, dude, not that. Dude, go away. You're killing me. Let me do this again. didn't cancel it. Okay, that's not going to work. Let me edit this message. Okay, got it. We out here doing live streaming stuff. If you happen to use Apple's Photos app, oh yeah, there you go. All right, so let's ask the video. Let's not ask studio, but let's see. Can you find anyone in the comment section that is asking about the external Samsung T7? External SSD Samsung T7. There where it's exact. It shouldn't have to be exact. It should be fuzzy and work. No, that one doesn't do it. So then let's bring it in the studio. Can you look at this video's comment section and see if anybody is asking about the external SSD Samsung T7? I need the video ID. Dude, Ecam, you're on drugs, bro. What are you doing? No, Paul, I can't do it yet. It said it could do comments, but I guess it ain't fully baked yet. But I mean, it came out a week ago. So what I would do is definitely put in the feedback and be like, that's what you're looking about. You know what I mean?
I haven't even got it yet. I'm still waiting. You lot over that side of the pond get everything first.
Don't you have a VPN?
No, it doesn't. UK registered accounts doesn't show up, mate.
So it's going by the registration of the account, not the location of the
Yeah.
key. Oh, that's crazy.
And you know how much I love analytics. I'm like, waiting for Christmas. This is.
Well, you know that the one that Paul uses should work, right? Because it can pull that info, right? Like
Which one's Paul using?
YouTube comments. Oh, brain, hold on, brain just went dumb. YouTube comments downloader.
But you have to download.
You have to
data-
physically use the API on that.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to basically take the videos that you want. You have to download the comments for it, and then it will go through
Yeah.
and do an analysis of them.
I think, oh, that's a good idea, Kevin. I didn't think about that. Yo, here's a good idea, Paul. Use a VPN, create a USA-based account, and then add that account as a channel manager. That might work. Like, that totally might work. And then see if you can do it that way.
Who said that suggestion?
Kevin.
Coxie.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
See, Kevin, sometimes you come up with good ideas. Just like once or twice a year. Actually, when I was doing the Nice to Know, Nice to Have November challenge, the beginning of this 365, Kevin had a bunch to say. So a whole bunch of the videos in the beginning were all based off of stuff that Kevin said. So yeah, Kevin came up with a good one.
It's just going to be so useful when that becomes available, because when you create new content, anyone that has ever asked that question, you're going to be able to go and do a short or send them the link and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, that's my grandpa's saying right there. You gotta use your head for more than a hat rack. That is 100% the absolute truth. The absolute truth. Yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about it though. Like the AI studio is really, really good. I just saw a question that I have to chuckle at, but it's hard sometimes when people ask you a question. Okay, Paul, let me ask you, since you get a lot of comments, a lot of questions. I know you're not supposed to, but do you ever laugh when somebody asks you something that's just like absolutely insanely dumb?
I feel sorry for them.
Okay. This person asked in the chat, I mean, in the thing, and I mean, listen, I understand, but this whole process of that video is how to move your photo library over to an external drive, right? So your photo library sits on your Mac and it contains all of your photos, but it takes up so much space. If you're anything like myself or Gretchen or probably Caleb, who takes a metric F ton of pictures on your phone, your photo library is going to be pretty big. I think mine's is sitting at about 4 or 5 terabytes at this point. The question was, how do you find the photos later on your external drive? It's the same library, dude. You're just moving it. Like nothing changes. Like you're picking up this bottle and moving it from the left hand to the right hand. It's the same bottle. You're just putting it in a different location. So I guess the answer is the same way you found it before you moved it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to laugh. Kathy, everybody who says that, I'm always thinking to the back of my head, oh, yeah, there is. All right, let's put this here. I'm like, there's absolutely some dumb questions. Go to a conference, and I feel that there's people who will ask things that I swear they just want to hear themselves talk. Which is, I guess it's a thing. Like it's a nervous tick, but it's like going to Gretchen's area and being like, "Is it cold and rainy?" It's the Pacific Northwest.
Well,
Yes.
I kind of short on that when the same person asks the same question for like the 30th time.
Correct. That's my default. That's when I get like, I try not to, like bark when people ask me crazy questions, but when they ask the same thing over and over, then I start to feel like they are asking just to get attention. But then the other one that kills me, they ask the same question to 8 different people. I'm like, because you're not looking for an answer. You're looking for the answer that you want. That one kills me.
Well, the one thing I will admit, I do that occasionally, but I'm not looking for the same answer. It's like I'm questioning the answer that you gave me. There's just something
Dude,
about,
I'm the smartest mofo, don't question my answers. The hell wrong with you?
but it's like, if somebody tells me an answer and they played games with me in the past or done something, or I just feel like what they're saying is weird, I will ask that question to other people and find out if in fact they're being upfront with me. If you are, perfect. If you're playing games with me, alert signs start going up.
Well, that's true, but yeah, I have a short-term memory. I don't think about stuff like that. I'm like, ain't nobody trying to come for me. And they better be good at it. That's all I say. I really don't, I never get the feeling that somebody trying to come for me because I know that they're not going to win, no matter who it is.
I used to
take anyone.
in the corporate arena. I used to get that with vendors frequently, where they would give me lip service on something, and it was like, what you're telling me does not sound, and so I would find out if they're like being truthful or not.
Yeah. Well, there's
Then
definitely
our
people who will
relationship would
answer
change.
there's definitely people who will answer like, you know, the guy and the female differently, which is jacked up. But there's definitely people that do stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, you're picking the wrong one. She's the person with the card that's going to make the decision. And I've totally seen it where, you know, the salespeople are talking to the wrong person, right? Or like, you know, a kid comes in to buy a car when I used to work at a dealership and they're talking to the parents. I'm like, yo, the kid made their own money, bro. They're the ones that's pulling the trigger. And they was like, hey, can you go, you know, they used to do this thing in the car world called doing a spin. You know, so I'm out here and I'm talking to, you know, AT and Aubrey, and the car is for AT. But for whatever reason, you know, Aubrey got the Rolex in the ring or whatever. So you keep talking to Aubrey. And then they were like, hey, can you go talk to these people out there? Like they're just kicking tires. I'm like, okay. And we go out there like, who's the car for? And then AT would be like, oh, me. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, what are you looking for? I'm looking for, you know, a 4-wheel drive, you know, anything but Subaru. Sorry, Obs, I just had to do it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, well, how about you go to drive? And, you know, she'll say her thing. And then I would like talk to AT. And then next thing you know, we coming in to write it up. They're like, hey, how'd you do that? You was talking to the wrong person. You was looking at the person that was their friend that came with them because they didn't want to go by themselves or that drove them. And you picked the person, you know, that was dripped. And you was talking to the wrong person. The other lady was the one buying the car. And oh, by the way, she paid all cash. She had all of the money in the car. Like happened all the time, bro. All the freaking time. And as I when I started working there, I worked with a bunch of OGs. And, you know, they just came from the environment. It was like, oh, dad was fixing to buy the car. You know, and it's like, yo, a lot of kids, they make their own money doing, you know, all kind of nefarious things. You know, we don't know that AT wasn't a drug dealer. I was just waiting for that look. I was just waiting for that look, bro. Yo, right?
I could ban him.
Dude, no, you can't. That would be messed up. But yeah, I have to agree with Florence. She said something that's true, and I have to remind myself this, but trust me, I am kicking and screaming the whole way that people definitely process information differently. I know for a fact that I process information differently. And one of the most frustrating things in the world to myself and many people like me is we process information in patterns so fast that we get frustrated when other people don't see a pattern like directly in their face. Like we process patterns mad quick. And I'll be like, hey, you know, we be driving, right? I'm like, hey, did you just see that? And they'd be like, no. I was like, we was looking at the same thing. You ain't say, oh, what was the license plate on this such and such car? I don't know. I'm like, how do you drive and not look at like all the details? That's how you crash. Like I see everything when I'm driving. I'm scanning constantly. But some people just drive and they got the music going and they're you know, they just kind of like disappear. And yeah, I think it's weird because we do have such a crazy like we look for patterns. Like we find weird things in music that nobody else hears. And that's where the musical Tourette's, aka echolalia, comes from. Or the pattern recognition, or like how, you know, Luis knows every line from every movie or whatever. Like that's a ADHD trait. Dude, yes it is. Remember Saturn came out and tried to get rid of it? Yo. See, I'm with you, man. I see patterns everywhere. Sometimes I be trying not to see patterns, but I see patterns and they just be there. I can tell you the crazy one, and anybody else tell me if this is true for you. You ever go somewhere and they have like a wallpaper, say like Katie's wallpaper. They have a pattern-oriented wallpaper. Do you ever find yourself looking for the seams or looking for where the repeat happens? Or like, remember when you used to have subway tiles on the bathroom floor? If I would go into a doctor's office or principal's office or somewhere and they had those weird subway tiles with the black, 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 white, 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 and I would try to find where the octagons were, or the hexagons, or the dodecahedrons, or whatever. I would look at the floor and I'd be in there just like mapping the patterns in my head. Like there's many occasions I look at Paul's background and I try to figure out the rhyme or reason of why he put it like that to see if I can find the pattern that he came up with or if it was hella random. and it's hella random. But I have tried to
Oh,
figure out what the pattern is, and
it was it was a massive mathematical, calculation of
bullshit.
placement and yeah, the,
Like
the
I
the one
do
thing
stuff
that
like that. I count drawers.
yeah,
I count Gretchen's drawers behind her head. I'm looking at Paul's Venetian blinds, and in the middle of talking, I'm going like, oh, there's 66 blinds in there. Like I do weird shit like that, and it drives me
well,
crazy because not important.
the thing that will totally sidetrack me is if somebody does a video. Now, if it's reversed and there's no words anywhere on the screen, it's not a big issue. I can deal with it. It's not a problem. But if there's any words on a T-shirt, on the wall, on a sign, anything, and it's backwards, my brain totally stops listening to whatever they say, and my brain is now trying to figure out what all those things actually say.
Oh,
I'm
to
reading
undo the
things
reverse
backwards.
puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't know how many times I've been taking a photograph and I've had people walk up and go, what do you see? What are you taking? I was at a beach one time. I was in Hawaii and I was laying down on a beach in front of this, and there's like 12 people came up around, and my husband just stood back and said, yeah, just let her do it. Yeah.
Yo, this is funny, Rich. This is Karen. Karen can find typos in the wild. Rich said, I'm a pro at finding typos in the wild, but if it's in my own stuff, they completely get by me. And I can tell you, in the 5 years that I've been friends with Rich, I got at least 50 text messages from Rich. Hey, pimp, you did this wrong. Hey, pimp, you spelled this wrong. Rich will find the typo, and I'm like, yo, I looked at that title 80 times before I press go. Like
Well,
I
and
have erased it and put it back.
I think the thing is, you know what it's supposed to say,
Yeah.
and your brain just starts interpreting words and just kind of like reads what it was supposed to say, and you don't see the actual, because I do that all the time. I've looked at stuff over and over and over again, and everything looked fine. And I've gotten to the point now, if it's important, I show it to somebody so that they can check me, because I put stuff up and it's like, oh, I spelt this wrong, or I did this, or I missed a word or something. And it's like, "Grr."
Man, that one kills me. That was, oh, by the way, I haven't messed with it for a minute, but I used to use the living heck out of Grammarly. I still have Grammarly Pro, but they've added some of the AI writing tools to Grammarly Pro. And I think, I've been using Lex.page because of Caleb, but Grammarly Pro, the fact that they added, I like finally, I know it took them so long, but I think that might be a good tool to go back in and take a look at, because at least it already was before AI, it was doing a good job. Well, it always kind of had AI, it was machine learning, but it was always doing a good job of helping you get your grammar and your structure. And I like the way that it kind of corrects your passive tones versus not passive tones. Those things are subtle, but people that read pick them up.
Yep.
And I think it might be worth it to go in and mess with. And speaking of which, yeah, Lex is the truth. So that's the reason why I haven't been messing with Grammarly that much, because Lex.page is the absolute bomb skidly. And then Claude just got memories. So that's huge, because Claude is such a good writer that when I take things that I've, polished out in Claude, it normally is pretty good. And if you didn't see the video from last week where I showed you how to use ChatGPT to allow you to put out your content but have it not sound like AI, because you're not doing a full ass generation, you're having it pull the best out of you. So like if AT says, I want to write a newsletter about Tony, she could have it interview her and ask her questions, ask her like, what are your favorite things that, Tony has done? And, like how did you feel, when she passed? What do you think are some up and coming people that have that same, like, shining light in them or whatever? She'll be answering it in her AT voice. And so when the content comes back out at the end, it sounded like you, and not like, just asking the AI to write you an essay about a person. Especially you're not adding any additional value. Anybody can Google somebody's bio. You know what I mean? But going in and getting, what makes that person tick to you. Okay, so I'm making bubbles. Let me make this make sense. I have a document in my Notion that I call truth bombs. And whenever I hear a good ass truth bomb, I drop it into this Notion document, right? And I'm moving it over from what I have in notes. I haven't fully moved it over yet, but let me search this up. I'll show you what I mean. Because for the last two that I put in, I haven't added my notes. So I'm going to give you a truth bomb. And I'm going to paste it in here. So here's one. If you look at that truth bomb, what does that truth bomb mean to you? So I'll put it on screen for the people at home. It says the only people who care about fancy are the other insecure fancy people. And I should attribute that. I forgot, but I think I heard it from Gary. But it might have been somebody else. Dang it, I messed that up. Let me do that again. But in the meantime, like, what does that mean to you? Anybody can answer. Take your time. You 6. Wait, there's 5 of y'all. I'm one of the 6. You stupid.
It reminds me of the book The Millionaire Next Door, where he was setting up for his first set of interviews for all these millionaires he had coming in, and he put out the caviar and the champagne and all that. And the people came in, they grabbed a beer, was looking for chips, and it was totally not who they were. And that's not how they became rich. The rich don't flaunt it. They don't have to.
I like that. I have this book. I haven't read it in a
Some
long
don't.
time. I haven't read this in a long time. Damn, AT, you got me wanting to go back in on this one.
I guess millionaires don't flaunt it, but billionaires do.
By the time you get to that point, that's just the ego thing. Because you're showing off for other billionaires.
I'll push
You're
back
not
on
doing
that.
it for the rest of us.
I'm going to push back on that because there is one who absolutely doesn't flaunt it. I'm sure there's more than one, but there's one that sticks out in my head who absolutely doesn't flaunt it and is still relatively normal and refuses to get caught up into their lifestyle, and they all try to drag him in. And he ain't that dude. And who is it? Anybody. Who's the one that
Warren
does?
Buffett.
Huh?
Warren Buffett.
Okay, there's 2 then. I'll put him up. This is my guy. Like, he says some crazy stuff sometimes, but for the most part, he don't act like them. Like, he's still.
But he do have a severe ego, though.
Oh, dude, if you was broke and then you worth what QB is worth, come on. He had to have an ego to change the NBA. Like, he saved the NBA. Nobody's going to give him credit for that, but he kind of saved the NBA. Like, and I agree with Buffett is also on that list. Like, Buffett go to McDonald's, bro. Still, I don't know why it'd kill him, but he eats the same McDonald's sandwich like every day.
He knows exactly how much it costs down to the penny, and he pays the exact price.
Correct. Like, yeah, I think those are 2 guys that just refuse to get caught up in the rigmarole. They just like, nah, man. All right, we made it. Cool. We in here. Boom. And again, I'm sure there's more, but those are the 2 that comes to mind. But you're right.
In
like,
essence, money makes you more of who you are.
Yes, it makes it easier
because
for
it
your
increases your
heinousness to come up.
options.
100%.
It increases your options.
He said, I can think you swap out fancy for a number of things in that statement and make it true. Okay, so anyway, the point of my thing was, and this is what I highly suggest you do. whenever you catch a nugget, now you guys be watching streams and somebody will say something truthful, and here's why it doesn't stick. I'm going to repeat this over and over again. Here's why it don't stick. Because the culture with a K, sorry, Paul, you're going to have to be black today. Culture with a K is Gretchen says something that's fire. Everybody in the chat is like, damn, Gretchen, that was fire. Oh, that was a knowledge bomb. Oh, truth drop, mic drop, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't take that comment and write it down in a notebook somewhere, put it on an index card, say it in a voice note, and then the minute that stream is over, come back and tell yourself why it applied to you. Paul, I just realized what you did, Paul. Are you stupid? Ignorant bitch. That's too funny. If you don't stop, and this is the Sankey Arens and the Zettelkasten method. I know I sound like I'm speaking French, but it's German. But this is exactly what the Zettelkasten method is about. When you get one of these nuggets that you claim impacts your life, and you don't write down why exactly it moved your needle, why it tickled your fancy, even why it pissed you off, you will absolutely forget it in times when you need to be using that advice to kind of take you to the next step. AT's whole entire channel is basically that. I'm taking these things that mean something to me, and I'm going to express why they mean something to me. And that's brilliant.
So when Alicia came up with my kaleidoscope creative term for me, I grabbed onto it. And then just what you said, last week I did 3 live long videos, or recorded, but I just did them one take and put them out there. And then I did shorts, and I did a whole bunch, and they were all based on that thing. They were all based on either things that you had said. I'd been writing about momentum in my morning pages when you had your stream and talked about it, and I went off on that, and all of those things were that. And it's, we talk about people saying, "Oh, it's too hard to just do a video and all this stuff." Seriously, I was in the car and I was thinking about that stuff, and I just had hit the record and started talking. Or I was sitting over in Grandma's rocker and I had written something in my morning pages, and I popped that up and I just started talking. Yeah, maybe it's longer than it should have been. Maybe it went off the rails a little bit, but it still got it out of here and out. And then it stuck. It stuck with me, and it resonated with a lot of people. Some of the messages I got and the comments I got on those brought me to tears. It was pretty amazing.
Yep. One of the best videos I made in this whole 365 was in the airport lounge. But you know why it's too hard to make a video for those people, Gretchen? Because the only people who care about fancy people are other insecure fancy people. It's hard for them to make a video because they want to make the good video. I don't want to make a good video. I want to make a great video. But my schedule of greatness isn't pretty. It isn't editing. It isn't audio quality. It isn't lighting quality. It isn't how many views it gets. It isn't how many subscribers it gets. My measure of a great video is the comment feed. When somebody is like, damn, son, damn, whoo, that was it. That's
okay. You just gave me another one. But my schedule of greatness, for me, that resonated. That's like,
I better write that
and
shit down. I never said that until just now.
I did. I just wrote it down. My schedule of greatness. And I was like, oh yeah, what does that mean? How does that align with what I'm doing, or what I want to do, or what I want to be, and how I am, and just how I am?
Right. And to that point, and I know you guys have caught me. The award goes to AT for this one. But you guys have caught me saying dumb shit about that's just how I am. You ain't gotta make faces, dog. Let me finish the sentence. I, I get like my mom grabbing the back of my neck when you make that face. That's the feel. I can feel her hand right here. Like, boy, say that shit again. That's why I just gotta not look at AT while I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say, because she gave me the black girl look, and then I'm like, yeah, that's the one. But yeah, like it's one of those things. When you say stuff like, "Oh, that's just how I am," some people use that as an excuse to be an asshole. Right? One of my legs is longer than the next one. That's just the way I am. But being the person that doesn't give a F about dogs and goes out of my way to antagonize dog people, that's just the way I am. No, dude, you're an asshole. Dog people ain't did nothing to you. They don't care whether you like the dog or not. They like the dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of cats, but it's only because I'm allergic to them. I don't care that Paul and Mary Lou will probably end up by themselves in a house somewhere with 50 cats. That was a joke. But that doesn't affect me, bro. Like, I don't care. I just allergic to cats. I don't not like cat people. And honestly, if I'm being truthful, it's not that I don't like cats. I would probably have one if I wasn't allergic to them. So, since I'm allergic to cats and I got a dog, he just about as bad as a cat because he don't listen. And I love when I watch those videos where cat be slapping the shit out of somebody or knocking stuff down or just being an asshole and stealing food. Like, I send those joints to Paul and Mary Lou because I think they're hilarious. When they pull up on the curtain and yank everything down, I'm like, yeah, that's funny to me. Because I don't know how cat people put up with that mess. Me and that cat would have become a hat. We start knocking all this shit off my studio. Or, you know, when Maestro come and put a butt in Paul's face, be like, bitch, feed me. You know, letting the animal boss you around the house, that would drive me crazy. But I'm not, you know, that people that say that kind of stuff, you know, just to oh, that's just how I was raised. Saying something that was terribly, you know, not PC and be like, oh, that's just how he was raised. I don't think that's cool because now you know it affects people. It doesn't matter that we got away with it. And yeah, it affected them back then. They just didn't have a leg to stand on. But now society is coming around. I mean, you understand that 60 years ago, we couldn't be on this panel together right now. One of us was going to get beat up on the way home. Me, Paul, AT, but you know what? Even the other Paul. You know, there's some cats in Newcastle that would have caught Paul and then pulled up on him and be like, why you hanging out with the poof? And, you know, a couple of the Sfartzes, and they would try to beat Paul up. Now, Paul had a motorcycle back then. He would have just, his boys would have came around. He had a cafe racer. They might have been able to handle their business, but there's people that would have definitely tried to beat up Paul and Gretchen just because they was hanging out with us. And so it doesn't matter that it used to be okay to say ignorant shit. If you say ignorant shit just to say it, bro, you're defending being an a-hole. And I defended myself being an a-hole for quite a while. And AT was like, no, bitch, not today.
No, it's just a personal pet peeve for me because people want to judge you based on your actions, but judge themselves based on their intentions.
Yeah. Yeah, say it again for the people in the back.
Write that one down.
Say that again for the people in the back.
People want to judge you by your actions, but judge themselves by their intentions.
Correct. 100%. 150 freaking percent.
I find frequently when people are complaining about something a lot, it's because they have the problem and they're hiding it.
Damn, that hurt. No, because I legit don't. I'll confess this one. I legit remember like maybe maybe second year of the pandemic, third year of the pandemic. I felt so many people were out here wearing the ADHD badge to the point where I was starting to believe that it was going up there on my list of imposter syndrome. You're just wearing a badge because everybody else is wearing a badge. And then I saw a video where somebody said there's nothing more irritating to a person with OCD than to hear people randomly use OCD as a descriptor because they like their car clean, right? Or because they like their desk spotless. That is not, oh, dang, you gotta run, Obs. That is not OCD. You know what I mean? And when I saw that video, it made me start to think about all of the people who were in my circle who were constantly talking about them having ADHD. So I was thinking, yeah, a lot of people are just using it as a badge. It's like, what what's his name? AT, the guy Jeff used to talk about Facebook Christians. They wear Christianity as a jewelry. He was one of the first big like YouTubers, young guy. His name was Jeff something. I forget. Jeff S. I remember that. Anyways, like, yeah, there's just too many Facebook Christians who would just go in there and post all of these cool, precious moments like post and then be out here doing foul S in the street. And because of that, I was getting so irritated, but then I was more and more realizing that the things that people would say, I was like, yo, I've kind of fit that. I kind of fit that. And so then actually finally getting my diagnosis, it's been a relief. Like I realized that, it's not a badge that some people still do it, but a lot of the people that say that, and I'm looking at the amount of undiagnosed females and the amount of undiagnosed people of color, because we always had, oh, you just need Jesus. Or we always had, oh, bless his heart. Or he a little touched. Or a whole bunch of ones I can't think of right now.
But I can relate this to what I've been through. And you watch all these people that are condemning gay people and trans people and all this other stuff, and then over time, I can't count the number of, heavy, splattered all over the screen religious people that have been condemning gay people and all this stuff. And then you find out that, they're child molesters or they
100%.
have had gay relationships and all this stuff. It's like, it's gotten to the point that those who complain the loudest probably have something to hide.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just saw a video the other day that was talking about some of the craziness that's going on in like Mike Johnson's world.
Yep.
I'm like, I think he is, I forgot the terminology now. I think he's a bear. And he's hiding it behind his craziness. We're going to find out his search history one day. I mean, yo, Kayla was like, the service is down. We was at a conference, and then there was a Republican fundraiser the same time in our same area. And Kayla was like, oh, the sites are all down. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, the sites are down
Every
because there's a Republican convention going on right now.
every time there is a big Republican convention anywhere in the country, Grinder goes down in that area.
Super funny. That's craziness. But I was like, yo, that's, yeah, it's kind of funny, right? So I don't know. The main thing is for you guys when you get into one of these challenge things, don't slow down after. Keep going. And I know it's super hard, but stop telling yourself how hard things are. I know what I just said is hard. But if you confess to it, you have absolutely already lost. In the world of
think one of
soccer,
the
you are
things
1-0 down. If you start out, oh, this is going to be hard, you're 1-0 down before you start. Say, Gretchen?
So I think one of the things that made able my ability to keep going with the challenge that I started with with Paul, started with Duncan when I started my show at 1 during Vlogmas or whatever it was. I mean, tomorrow will be show 630.
Damn.
And I went a year straight, and then I said, okay, I'm not going to take a break. I'm on vacation for 2 weeks, but I'm coming back for just twice a week. So I altered how often I went, but I didn't alter the show. I didn't try to make it more complicated. I didn't try to make fluff it up, or every once in a while I'll pull a different kind of scene in, but essentially it is still the same thing. There is a 20-second little opening blip video that might relate to the story, or I might just have wanted to do something that I used to get the thumbnail. There's me waving at people, and then it countdowns into the thing. There's me talking to the community. If it's show and tell night, then it's showing their art. Then it's me. Then it's the story. Then it's the close. And Megan, if it's not show and tell night, it goes me, story. Thanks for coming. Bye. And it's consistent. I can put that together in a few minutes. And because I didn't change everything. Yes, I'm doing a bunch of other things I'm trying to play with. That gives me time to learn other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
have to worry about that one, because the show is something that the Bucket Filling Brigade wants. Yes, when I was at camp and going across the country, they understood that they got premieres and recorded ones, and they were kind of funny and crazy. They loved them. But now that I'm back live, it's yay, you're back, and it's something that we all kind of depend on. I
well,
mean,
another good example of that is like Luis. I mean, he does a show every Saturday night. He has been traveling, he's been out of town, stuff has come up on Saturday, but he always shows up on Saturday. It may not be the same glamour, fancy setting or something, and it may not be a full hour at times, but every Saturday he comes up for his live, and he's done it for hundreds of weeks now. And it's,
150 something.
yep, I have to give him credit because he's done it at times where I probably would have considered throwing in the towel, but he always, in one way, shape, or form, he pulls off some sort of a live every week, no matter what.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. It's gonna be a difficult question, but I'm gonna ask you a question. Why would you have thrown in the towel? And it might take a little bit of deep thought, but why would you have thrown in the towel?
Well, I mean, there is some nights where things have happened or something, and you just go, it's too much. It would be too easy to not do it, and that's an excuse.
No, I'm gonna dig
But
deeper.
it's like,
Hold on, I'm gonna dig deeper. Who gave you that ruler?
Something in the past.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Right? So it's never you.
I know.
That's the thing that blows my mind, and it's so hard. But I gotta say to people, and I think this is where we can fix it, even though we're all older, and most of us have carried this bag for a long time. Somebody else gave you the ruler. And I don't mean like, a physical ruler, but to you and I, it's gonna sound dumb. Stick with me. This is the easiest one. To you and I, this is 12 inches. To Paul, it's 30 centimeters. Which one of us is right?
It's like yesterday, Mary Lou did a video and she was talking about, questioning yourself. And I truly believe that we collect, over the course of our lifetimes, we have this excellent ability to grab every negative comment that we've ever heard. And it goes in this little portion of our head, which is like read only. We have no way of accessing it. We can't touch it. We can't erase it. Easily that we know of. And then somebody says something or something happens, and this thought tucked way away of a negative thing that somebody said or a situation or something suddenly pops out and becomes like the controlling factor of your head. And it's like, I still have a lot of those. I'm getting somewhat better to being able to recognize things and digging into why I'm feeling that way. Sometimes I can override it. I can stuff it away, get rid of it. Sometimes I can't. I mean, there's, a lot of them that still pop up and different stuff like that. But it's just our crazy mind has this ability of, good things we kind of remember, but we forget. The bad stuff, it's
Just
stuck in there
hold on to them.
forever.
Correct. And so that's why when I get frustrated when I hear my people say such and such and such is too much, because I will always push back with according to whom. And if they can show me, not that they owe me anything, but it's just what I put on people. If you can show me that this is a you decision and you came up with this by yourself and not from some outside input, then I'm what the, did y'all see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo.
that was crazy.
So that's called RTMP lost a packet and found it. That's what I be talking about when I tell people when RTMP lose a packet, it will keep looking for it. That packet was probably dropped 20 minutes ago and it just found it. So that was
And I think the other thing, Doc, is that and what from what Paul said, when I was coming back, I put out a post to my community and I said, I will try to go live tonight, but we are going to, whoa, what happened? What? Sorry, Tiny. Whoa.
Listen, Puerto
I
Rican,
will try to
stop
go
talking
live
with
tonight.
your hands.
Sorry. But but we are going to be in such a place. I think it was in Wyoming. And seriously, this whole state of Wyoming has a population of people 300,000 less than the city of Seattle. So there were places that I was going to be camping that were way beyond off grid. And there was no chance.
They under the grid.
There was no chance in hell that I was going to be able to do a live. And I said, okay, I might be able to do something. I don't have a recorded one for you. So here's a link to one that we liked. Go back to this one, you guys. I'll catch you. I'll try to get it. And so I went and I couldn't do anything. So the next night I did one instead. And I had to give myself grace, not an excuse. It wasn't an excuse. Yes, it was grace. It was like, okay, we already drove 6 hours today. I'm not driving another 3 when I wasn't feeling real well and Bob was doing the driving to find a spot that we could
See,
do
and
that. I
think
had to give myself
technical
grace.
stuff is fine. I think technical stuff is fine. You can't be done. Weather, like, yo, we can't play the World Series in LA if it freaking keeps snowing. You know what I'm saying?
Gretchen,
And no,
more like,
what you say, Paul?
sorry. I said I would do more live streams, Gretchen, if I could be in a more remote area, because Starlink seems to work better for streaming the more bloody remote you are.
No, true, because you don't have anybody pulling on your signal. That's
Yeah.
yeah. But it's super funny. And I agree with you. 100% give yourself grace. The one thing though that I was going to say, and Paul kind of alluded to it, the problem with grace is, and this is why this is going to sound super messed up, and I don't care. This is why I would rather fail with the Eagles than waddle with the Ducks. Because the Ducks think grace is amazing. The Eagles think grace is amazing once or twice a year. Now, grace is amazing, but at some point you can grace yourself to death, dog. And you have to understand the difference. And I think that's the hardest part about giving. Because AT, beginning of the year, I said, yo, my job is going to be to give a little bit more grace. That was last year. I wasn't saying it again this year because she had her foot in my ass the whole year. Doc, grace, Doc, stop tripping. Like all of 2024, AT was like, Doc, grace. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Doc, you tripping again, grace. So Grace don't talk to me no more. Me and her ain't friends. But I agree. You do have to give yourself grace. And I definitely give myself grace now. More so than ever. But I swear, so many people take it too far. And I'm like, are you being honest with yourself that it's too much? Or have you become, Chris Rock, accustomed to waddling with the Ducks? Have you become accustomed to, this is overwhelming, this is overwhelming, this is overwhelming? Which is why I always say, stop using that word unless we're talking tsunami, earthquake, hurricane, asshole president, something of these natures, things that are really effed up. Okay, you can use overwhelming. A software has 5011 buttons. That word will take you out of your game. Because how do you learn a software with 5011 buttons? One button at a time. How do you learn how to play piano? One key at a time. We're going to start with C and work our way from there. At some point in time, grandpa or dad or mom or gran said to Paul, this, my son, is a spanner. What's it for? You see those little hexagonal things? You take the spanner and you adjust it and you grab this and you go anti-clockwise to turn it loose and clockwise to put it on. And Paul was like, I like this. And they were like, this is a cross screwdrivers. Americans are assholes and they call it a Phillips. We don't know who the fuck Phillip is. We call it a cross screwdriver. Okay. And Paul's like, I like those too. Then somebody in his life bought him a spanner. By the way, that's a wrench to us people who speak English. And somebody bought him a cross screwdriver, AKA a Phillips. And now he can't put that shit down. He built a whole life around it. At some point in time when he was a little wee lad, a wean, as they say in Ireland, he took some shit apart and it gave him a chubby. And he was like, bruh, I'm taking apart everything. And then somebody paid him to fix some shit. And he was like, pump the brakes. I can get paid to fix a hob. By the way, that's a stove to the rest of us. He was like, yo, many people pay you money to fix a hob? Yeah. I'm going to stop selling weed. I'm going to start fixing hobs. And now he has a channel teaching the world how to fix a hob. It could have been totally different. Nan or grandpa or dad or whatever would have been, Paul, put the tool down, stop touching shit. You don't know what you're doing. Paul, put this down, stop touching it. You know what you're doing. You're a dumb git. Don't touch this, don't touch that. Don't fuck with that. That's dangerous. You're going to electrocute yourself. You're going to die. Oh my God, don't go into strangers' houses. Strangers could kill you. And how to repair on YouTube would not exist because another person would have scared his ass out of fixing shit. And I need you to register that in the deepest part of your cockles while you're trying to do what you're trying to do. And other people are trying to talk you out of it. Sometimes
this
from a
before.
position of love, by the way.
Yep. I've mentioned this before. I graduated high school in 1973.
God damn.
That's been a few years ago. When I was in high school, I had a guidance counselor that told me to my face that I would never make anything of myself. All these years later, that is still a remembered conversation that I had with him. And I cannot begin to tell you how many times over the course of the year that comment has popped up in my head and sabotaged me many times because I've allowed it to. And there's still situations that happen to this day where something will and that whole tape starts going off in my head.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Kevin. It's not a spanner. It's a crescent wrench. And even the crescent
Yep.
wrench is a brand name. It's technically an adjustable wrench. Most people's crescent wrench say Snap-on or Craftsman. You know, Paul, you should, I don't know, this might be a exercise that, you know, when we're going somewhere, if you could find out where that dude is buried, you should go to his grave and just say like, hey man, thanks for putting that shit in my head and fuck off. I'm gangster now. And then take a little
There'd
weed.
be a
I
yellow
actually did
path on his.
a few years ago. I did a video, and I was always wondering why I never had an American audience. And then I found that the wording I was using in one of the videos, and I didn't use the word boil element. I mean, it's a bloody grill element, a hob element, an oven element, but a boil element. So I decided to chuck that in the video. Hey presto, I had a load of people from the other side of the pond.
Right? It's weird because it's just it's the vernacular, right? And so sometimes, you know, you gotta like explain it. And it's funny because you know, when NBC brought footy to the USA, they had to keep saying we're gonna say football, and when you see FC, it's football club, but someone still say SC and it's soccer, but it's football. And it's like we're gonna get used to this because, you know, for us it's oblong. And now people are starting to get it. Like the U.S. team has gotten better. The game is more experienced here. MLS has, you know, blown up, so forth, so on, et cetera. But now people get it. But before, they used to just mess people up. And there's still people that just to be assholes goes, I'm never going to call it football. I'm always going to call it soccer. They don't care what you call it, bitch. You can't play. You don't know what you're talking about. No one cares what you call it. You could call it fucking dudes in short shorts. We don't give a shit. Like, and the fact that you're going to say that from a point of arrogance, like you're somehow cool because you're going to purposely mispronounce some shit. This is wild. This is wild to me. It's like, go away. Yolanda said, that's a horrible thing to say. Paul, I hope and pray that you're no longer internalize that statement and you should know that you're so a little bit valuable. Hi, Yolanda.
Hi, Yolanda. Thank you.
Agreed.
But Doc, I want to push back on your take on grace. I don't think there's such thing as too much grace. I think that they're using a grace as a mask for fear.
There you go. All right, that's what I mean. I'll take it. Your pronunciation is better because yeah, grace is still grace, right? But I'm just saying the people that are using it as an excuse instead of as a powerful tool. Think of it like water. Water can flow or it can crash. If you put water into a cup, it becomes a cup. If you put water into a teapot, it becomes a teapot. If you put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Water be water, my friend. It's like that. Like I think grace
Okay,
is very
Bruce.
Adapts.
grace is very similar. If you're using it from a point of love, from a point of helping, and from a point of compassion, it's dope. But I would say some people take it too far. And I think about this all the time. The PETA people who will go out and start fights over saving the animals, but will step over a homeless person, I kind of want to punch them in the neck. I know that sounds weird, but I always could not stand, I never could stand a racist PETA person. I'm like, it's like the idiots that are out here again claiming to be Christians while the same token they're snatching kinfolks' kids away from them.
Yep. I had somebody the other day that was talking about they have a ranch, and there was this older woman that saw this cat, and she grabbed this cat, and this other woman has a lab, and the woman was trying to
Retriever?
protect the cat, and yeah, came and it attacked it. It ultimately killed the cat, but this woman actually don't know if it was bit, scratched by the cat or whatever in this whole thing. And the woman that owned the lab, she says, I don't understand why anybody would put themselves in that. And I said, I have a cat. And I said, I can guarantee you, if I was in a situation where that happened, I said, I would have done the same exact thing. The lab could have killed me, but I would have done anything in my power. And I said, including beating the shit out of the dog to protect my cat.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't think
you know,
people understand that, you know. And a lot, let's
I
be
said,
honest, a lot of people's
that cat
hardcore
is my kid.
relationships with their pets come from being abused by other humans. Not everybody, but a lot of people that have those type of relationships with their pets were abused by humans, and they found the solace and the love from the thing that could love them unconditionally. Well, until you stop feeding it, then it'll mess you up.
And it eats you.
True story. It's kind of crazy. Dude, I just realized we got class in like 6 minutes. I need to go upstairs and eat and pee and do old people stuff. But this was good. Thank you. It was really good. I'll see y'all in a minute. Yolanda, stop messing around. Come to class today. We miss you. Jerk face.
Yes.
Just Paul got the link if you need it. We'll be there. I'm gonna just run upstairs and grab a bite to eat. Probably like 15 minutes. Is that okay, Kay? Everybody good?
Yep.
All right. It's fun. It was good. It was good talk today, people. I appreciate y'all. Everybody else who just came by and lurked, I appreciate y'all. We do this on Saturdays. Normally it's Q&A. You can ask questions and we answer them. Today we got a little, philosophical, but anything that can be done to move the needle, to make you create better content and sort of learn what you're doing, like, I'm about that life. I am about that life. We have in my membership, the people that are gold members, we get together every Saturday and we hang out for supposed to be an hour. Sometimes it's 3, but we attempt to get things done and makes ourselves go. Yeah, that's cool. Gretchen, you want to leave this meeting open and just come back to it?
Actually, it's a different meeting, so
Oh, okay.
I'll open it as soon as it's over.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Rich, man. I know we have something popping off in Dallas this year, so I'm looking forward to it because it's been a minute since I get to come down and kick it with you, and then go to the crazy goat or the goat sandwich or whatever the hell that thing is called that I never can remember, but it's so damn good. All right, fam. Love you guys. Be good. Appreciate it. Bye.
You're mine, how I love you're mine. It never gets me down. City of mine.